Welcome to today's broadcast. My name is Colleen Patterson, and I'm the Director of Employer Services and Compliance at Savoy. This past week, the IRS issued guidance on the taxability of dependent care assistance programs for 2021 and 2022, clarifying that amounts attributable to carryovers or an extended period for incurring claims generally are not taxable. The guidance also illustrates the interaction of the standard with the 1 year increase in the exclusion for employer provided dependent care benefits from $5,000 to $10,500 for the 2021 taxable year under the American Rescue Plan Act. So, because of the pandemic, many people were unable to use the money they set aside in their dependent care assistance programs in 2021 and also in 2020. Carryovers of unused dependent care assistance program amounts generally are not permitted, as we all know. However, there is a 2.5 month grace period, and that is certainly still allowed. However, recent coronavirus related legislation, and that was the Taxpayer Certainty and Disaster Tax Relief of 2020, allowed employers to amend their plans to permit the carryover of unused dependent care assistance program amounts to plan years ending in 2021 and 2022, or they could also extend the permissible period for incurring claims for plan years over the same period of time. The IRS had released two notices recently. The first is the notice number 2021-26, which clarifies for taxpayers that if these dependent care benefits would have been excluded from income if used during the taxable year of 2020 or 2021, if it was applicable, these benefits will remain excludable from gross income and are not considered wages for the employee for 2021 and 2022. Now, there was also a second IRS notice released, and that was notice 2021-15. And that was actually issued in February of 2021. And it states that if an employer adopted a carryover or extended period for incurring claims, the annual limits for dependent care assistance program amounts apply to amounts contributed, not to amounts reimbursed or available for reimbursement in a particular plan or calendar year. So therefore, participants in dependent care assistance programs may continue to contribute the maximum amount to their plans for 2021 and 2022. Also, keeping along with what's been happening with the IRS this week, this past week they released the 2022 inflation adjusted amounts effective for health savings accounts, so HSAs, for calendar year 2022, and for accepted benefits, as well as health reimbursement arrangements, or HRAs, all for the plan years beginning in 2022. So please see the article on our website for the specific amounts that have been released. Next, I wanted to talk about the Health and Human Services because they too have released an announcement this past week. So specifically, Health and Human Services has announced that the Office for Civil Rights will interpret and enforce Section 1557's prohibition on discrimination based on sex to include one, discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation, and two, discrimination on the basis of gender identity. So as a reminder, Section 1557 prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, age, or disability in covered health programs or activities. The update was made in light of the U.S. Supreme Court's decision on Bostock versus Clayton County and other subsequent court decisions that have recently occurred. The Office for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Health and Services, they're responsible for enforcing Section 1557 of the Affordable Care Act and regulations issued under Section 1557, protecting the civil rights of individuals who access or seek to access covered health programs or activities. Covered entities are prohibited from discriminating against consumers on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. And lastly, this week, I wanted to mention that earlier in the week, we had released a podcast on the Blue Cross Blue Shield settlement addressing frequently asked questions that we've received. You can find a link for the recording on our website. If you haven't had a chance to listen yet, you definitely want to take a couple of minutes and go back and hear the recording. So this concludes our update for this week. As always, should you have any questions, please reach out to your dedicated Savoy team and continue to use the resources available at our website at savoyassociates.com. From all of us at Savoy, stay healthy and safe. Thank you for joining us today.